welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Matt.
And we've been talking about something called a community fridge. And basically it's how people can have less food waste by sharing their food with others if they don't need the food anymore. But what happens with a lot of other food waste? Or how do we kind of reduce the amount of food that's being wasted, especially from certain shops like supermarkets or convenience stores?
Yeah, I've noticed, I think that there must be a lot of food waste coming from convenience stores because they always have food there that is already cooked and ready to eat. It doesn't all get eaten every day, so where does it go?
Right.
And I know that one of the ways to deal with that is that they have discounts on things like meat and vegetables in supermarkets or that ready-to-eat food in the convenience stores. But I also read an article recently about something they're trying in Japan, which is that they're going to give the food from convenience stores to people who live in the nearby area for free.
Oh.
So it will be that the food is past the time when they can still sell it, but it's still edible. You can still eat it. It's not bad. It's not past the time where you can eat that food. So it's better to provide it to someone who needs it instead of just throwing it away.
Okay, so sometimes the dates that we see on the packaging of foods, they actually have different meanings. So sometimes the date might just mean you have to sell something before this time, but it doesn't mean that you can't eat it anymore.
That's right.
Okay, well, today we are going to continue talking about community fridges, but what can we put in it?
Volunteers and community groups help keep the community fridges in order. They fill and clean the fridges. They also tell people about the fridge rules. People can leave fresh fruits and vegetables. They can also leave bottles of milk, juice, and water.
Welcome to part 2 of our article, Community Fridge, not your regular fridge.
All right, well, we learned a lot about community fridges last time and how they started and where they started, but today we're going to learn some more about how to use community fridges. Volunteers and community groups help keep the community fridges in order.
Okay, so even though this community fridge, a lot of people can access it, it's in the public, but people still need to take care of it.
People need to make sure it's being used correctly. And some of these people are volunteers. So a volunteer is someone who offers to do work for an organization for free, so for no money. When you're volunteering for something, you're doing work, but you're not expecting any money and you're not given any money to do that work. And people will often volunteer for things that they feel are, good for the world. Things like charities or where you're helping people, or things like this where you're helping the earth by reducing food waste.
That's right. Back to the article, they fill and clean the fridges. So the volunteers, they will go around these community fridges and they will clean them and they will also fill them up. Okay, so when you fill something, to fill something is to basically take something that's empty and put something into it. So for example, you can fill up a glass of water, right? You can fill a glass up with water, or you can even fill up a room with people. So basically you are taking something empty and putting things into it.
All right, let's go to Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字跟文法重点。首先来看看单字的部分。Volunteer, 名词，志工、志愿者。Volunteers cleaned the park last weekend. 志工们上周末清理了公园。Fill, 动词，填满、充满。Please fill the bottle with water. 请把瓶子装满水。我们再来看一下文法重点。刚刚课文提到了 keep something in order, 保持某事物井然有序。In order 表示整齐、有秩序的状态。我们来看看这个例句。 Mary keeps her desk in order every day. Mary 每天保持她的书桌井然有序。接着我们回到课文当中。
Okay, getting back to our article. They also tell people about the fridge rules. So that's the volunteers who help clean and fill the fridges also tell people about the rules because, everything needs to have some rules. You can't just let people do whatever they want. So a rule is a guideline or principle that must be followed or something that must be done in a certain way because this rule states it. So some of you might remember from your English class when you were young, there would be rule, or maybe even now where it's no Chinese in English class. That's a rule because you need to speak English and practice speaking English. So the rule is that you cannot speak Chinese in English class.
And also rules can help keep the community in order. They're put there to make sure that everyone is doing the same or similar things so that it doesn't get too crazy. So for example, in class, we always have to raise our hands before we talk. So that is a rule. Okay, back to the article. People can leave fresh fruits and vegetables. So in these community fridges, you can't just put whatever you want. You don't want to leave a rotten apple in the fridge. You want to leave things that are fresh for people so that when they take it, if other people take it, they can still eat it. It's still healthy for them to eat it. So fresh is an adjective describing something to be relatively new or something that has just been taken out from somewhere else. So for example, that apple is so fresh because I just picked it from the apple tree. So it's something that is very new and nothing has been done to it. It hasn't been processed and it's something that is uncooked or something that is raw.
Okay, getting back to this article, they can also leave bottles of milk, juice, and water. Okay, so people who have, things like this to provide to the community, these might be people who have, not maybe a farm or something like a farm. So you have, you have trees growing fruit, or you maybe have a vegetable garden, or maybe you have a cow that produces milk and you need to put that milk somewhere. So community fridge is good for that.
Right, and it seems like the things that we can put into this community fridge are pretty healthy things, right? You've got fruits and vegetables, milk, juice, and water. And these are all very natural products. They haven't been processed yet. All right, let's go to Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 rule 名词规则 Adam knows the rules of the game well. Adam 很了解游戏规则。Fresh 形容词新鲜的。I like fresh fruit for breakfast. 我喜欢早餐吃新鲜水果。文法的部分刚刚提到了 a bottle of 一瓶什么。Bottle 是量词，意思是瓶一瓶。我们来看看这个例句。There is a bottle of milk in the fridge. 冰箱里有一瓶牛奶。接着我们回到课文当中。
Okay, we've learned a little bit now about how to use community fridges. So you can follow the rules and put the right things in the fridge and make sure that you are helping people and that there are actually volunteers that are making sure people follow the rules and that these fridges are kept clean.
Right. Okay, let's go to the second part of our article and we'll be right back.
However, they can't leave raw meat, expired food, or food with no labels. Community fridges are making a difference. They help people cut waste and share with others in their communities. That helps the communities become stronger. It also gives the people hope.
Welcome back. Before the break, we've learned about the volunteers that help keep these community fridges clean and filled with yummy, fresh fruits and vegetables. But we also learned that there are certain things that you can put in it, but there are things that we cannot put into the fridge. There are rules that we have to follow. But what are these things that we can't put into the community fridge?
Well, let's find out. However, they can't leave raw meat, expired food, or food with no labels. Okay, so raw meat, meaning meat that hasn't been cooked. It's fresh meat, it's not cooked at all. And also, so you can't leave expired food.
Well, that makes sense. It's not really nice. I think that type of feeling is just like you're giving somebody stuff you don't want.
Right, it's like treating it like a garbage can. You're like, I was gonna throw this away, but let's put it there. So expired means that something is past the date that has been set for when it can be used. So with food products, there's often a date put on them that tells you when you should use it by or when you should eat it by. Other things like, for example, your passport. If you have a passport, it has an expiry date and a date when you need to renew it or get a new passport.
Right. And it basically means that you just can't use this thing anymore. Okay. So we can't leave food that don't have labels.
Right. Well, that's, I think, because how would you know if it's expired or not if it doesn't have a label, right?
That's right. Okay. Or you don't know what's in this, whatever they just put in the fridge.
Yes.
Community fridges are making a difference. Okay. So it's important that people start using these community fridges because people can see that things are changing. There's probably less food waste or there's more uses for something that might have been thrown away. All right, let's go to Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 expired 形容词过期的 I threw away the expired medicine 我丢掉了过期的药文法的部分刚刚提到了 make a difference 带来改变产生影响这是一个固定用法 difference 指的是不同差别我们来看看这个例句 Recycling can make a difference to the environment 回收可以对环境带来改变接着我们回到课文当中
Okay, getting back to the article, they help people cut waste and share with others in their communities. So they're helping people reduce weight or cut it down. To make less of something is to cut it. So cutting waste is getting rid of that waste.
And of course, it's nice to see other people in your community or in your neighborhood be able to use something that otherwise would have been thrown away. That helps the communities become stronger. It also gives the people hope. All right, because as we see people coming together to try to make a change, people start to feel better about it. So they start to feel hope. Hope is basically a type of feeling where you want a specific desire, you want something to be done, and you hope that you can achieve this dream or you can achieve this goal. And hope is basically that feeling that you think it might be possible to do.
Yeah, so when we give people hope, maybe people who, otherwise wouldn't have enough food to eat, maybe are in need of food, if they have this option to get food for free, maybe they can save their money for other things in order to improve their life and make their lives better, to give them hope, meaning that they can see that they have a possibility in the future to get better.
All right, let's go to Tina.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 hope 名词希望 Don't lose hope when things are hard 事情困难时不要失去希望接着我们回到课文当中
Okay, so now we know all about community fridges, and I am going to have to start looking for my closest community fridge because I like free food.
Okay. But you will bring stuff and put it there too.
Well, I was thinking about that. I don't have anything that, the only way I could do that is if I were to go to the store and buy stuff to put into the community fridge.
Well,
which I guess you could do, but I think it's more for food waste. If I'm going and buying something, I'm getting something that I didn't need and then putting it somewhere else.
So that's kind of producing more potential for waste. But for example, my family, sometimes because we have a bigger fridge, so maybe we'll do shopping for a whole week. And if we see that something might not be used by this week, we could bring it to the community fridge first, because maybe somebody else might have better use for this carrot that I have at home.
Right, that's great. So you should be looking for your local community fridge, and so should the rest of you out there, now that we all know about community fridges and that they are here in our communities. Okay, that's all for today. So let's review the article again, and we'll see you next time.
Volunteers and community groups help keep the community fridges in order. They fill and clean the fridges. They also tell people about the fridge rules. People can leave fresh fruits and vegetables. They can also leave bottles of milk, juice, and water. However, they can't leave raw meat, expired food, or food with no labels. Community fridges are making a difference. They help people cut waste and share with others in their communities. That helps the communities become stronger. It also gives the people hope.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 ，volunteer 名词，志工、志愿者 ；fill 动词，填满、充满 ；rule 名词，规则 ；fresh 形容词，新鲜的 ；expired 形容词，过期的 ；hope 名词，希望。接着我们来看文法的部分 ：keep something in order 保持某事物井然有序。Amanda likes to keep her house in order. Amanda 喜欢把家里维持得井井有条。A bottle of 一瓶什么 Dennis often drinks 2 bottles of iced tea at lunch. Dennis 午餐时常常会喝2瓶冰茶。Make a difference 带来改变，产生影响。Vicky became a doctor because she wants to make a difference. Vicky 之所以当医生，是因为她希望能带来改变。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，那我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
Hey, 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 it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie, and today we're doing an easy DIY Halloween costume. We're turning me into a skeleton.
It is very simple. All you need is a black shirt, black pants, white tape that we are going to use as bones. Let's get started.
Okay, we got one collarbone down.
All right, we're good. This part, we are going to make the ribs.
It's gonna tickle.
Before you get to the thighs,
Oh, we need a pelvis.
Yes.
A pelvic bone. So, yeah. All right, and there we have it. Ta-da! Them bones, them dry bones. Now we're the skeleton crew.
anyway, don't forget to follow us on Instagram or DM us and email us if you have any questions that you don't know how to say in English. Winnie, anything else you want to say?
Trick or treat, smell my feet.
Kiwi later.